Well, hello everyone. Welcome. I am Average Zen, your host of Average Zen Presents, once again coming at you on this Achievement Hunters Lodge edition, streaming live on Twitch as we do at Average Zen Presents, and broadcasting to YouTube. See what I did there? At Average Zen. And you can always check us out on social media, Twitter, X, Blue Sky at Average Zen as well. We also have an Instagram page. Occasionally post magic-related stuff up on there. But yes. Let's talk about achievements. We are here today to celebrate all that we have achieved, all our successful hunts, and this is what we're calling. Are you ready for this? I don't know if I'm ready for this. Let's see if we can do it. The rules of engagement. Was that good? That is what we're doing today. We are definitely going to calm down through all that we have discovered about the achievement system on Magic the Gathering Arena, and we're going to distill it down to you in some very simple terms so that you can jump over these hurdles that we have run face first into while figuring out what this is all about. In case you didn't know, there are many rules that are unwritten, these mostly unwritten rules of Magic the Gathering Arena achievement hunting. That's what we're discussing today. Let's jump in. We're going to break down the tips, the tricks, all the secrets that we have learned, and talk about how you can apply them to getting all these wonderful achievements, even the ones we haven't earned yet. We're going to give you tips on how we could go about getting those very quickly that we've learned from previous achievements. So let's start out with the format category, core achievements, MtG arena format. You hover over here. Not only will it tell you what the prize is, so in this case it's a new brew for playing 150 games of Alchemy is what you get, but down at the bottom it says neither games against Sparky nor direct challenges qualify. I didn't see this at first, but it does say this on a lot of them. A lot of them. Yes. That makes sense given the format, specific ones, because when you play Sparky, you don't actually select a format, you just select a deck. Any valid deck, oddly enough, not Brawl. I guess it would be helpful if Arena would give Sparky a Brawl deck. That would be cool. That way you could test it, as we do, against a non-player and try to work through it. However, yes, so Sparky will not work on these. You have to actually choose whatever the format is. But I want you to take note, again, it says nor direct challenges qualify. All right, so that is not necessarily the case for all of them that say that. For these, yes, because they are format specific, meaning you need to join up in the queue. So like historic, and it can be played unless it says ranked, which there's only one that says ranked. So you can just go to standard play, alchemy play, whatever the format is you're trying to go after. But as you can see, when you go to bot match, it just mixes all your decks up, so you're not actually selecting a format. That will not do. So, but I want you to note, and we'll get back to this later. So keep in mind, if I had a friend online right now, I could go to a direct challenge. I do not have a friend online right now. That is a bummer. So I cannot actually show you what I'm talking about. But bear in mind that when you direct challenge someone, then it gives you the options over here to pick what kind of format you would like. And the default is best of one direct match. And in that case, these here that say direct challenges do not qualify, that is correct. That is correct. However, and this is a big however, through independent testing on this channel, and we have video evidence and numerous videos on our Achievement Hunters playlist. We have found there is maybe a bug in this, or an unintended, unwritten hint that you can actually do a direct match if you change the initial setting from the best of one to tournament mode best of three, and then you get to select whatever format it is you want to play, whether that be except with the exception of Brawl. I don't think Brawl is an option, but any 60 card format, and that will trigger what we're going to get into next. Many of the achievements, even if they say they do not qualify under a direct match. So let's talk about the advanced achievements, because that's where most of these are that we're talking about. All right. So Down But Not Out is our best example. We have video evidence of this one, and I'm calling this category of the achievements our 1 of 1 or our 0 of 1 achievements, if you haven't gotten them, based on this format right here. You can see a lot of these in this category, as well as other categories, have these 1 of 1 format. Now, in all of these prior, it says, it still says that neither games against Sparky nor direct challenges qualify, but that is not true. That is absolutely false, because we have played and gotten Down But Not Out on this channel in a direct best of 3 tournament style match, as we just described a moment ago. So you need to know that even though it says direct matches do not qualify, or matches against Sparky, that is not technically true. In a lot of these, you will probably want to play a direct tournament best of 3 match with a friend or yourself if you have multiple devices and multiple accounts, because some of these are very difficult to get in an actual match-made game, such as what's a good one to give you an example of? Well, I mean, Down But Not Out. It's hard to reliably trigger that unless you just know you have the bee's knees deck and you concede the first game and you know you're going to wipe the floor within the second and the third game. We have found out, contrary to our experience going after the Veteran Explorer title a few weeks ago, that if you concede in some achievements, it does not count towards your progress. But in the Down But Not Out video of this particular formatting of this kind of achievement, this category, we know that you can, in fact, just auto-concede. So in Down But Not Out, to give you an example, our friend of the channel, Hobbit Snake, challenged us to a best of 3 tournament style direct match, and then we conceded the first match automatically, played 0 spells, and then we hopped into game 2 and game 3, and Hobbit Snake conceded, and then conceded without doing anything, not even playing a land, and that still got us the achievement. Let's move on to why this won't work in other formatted achievements. Because unwritten rules of Magic the Gathering Arena. Let's go back to the arena formats category, and you'll see this is 150 games of Alchemy, 450 games of Alchemy. All these, again, direct challenges do not qualify. I don't know if you can do these best of 3 direct match like I've just talked about. I have not seen that. I imagine probably not. However, I do know that these, even if you did, and that did work, apply a different standard for progressing the counter. And that is, you have to play at least 2 spells before the game ends. Okay, so all these where you have to play X number of games in a particular format, this is unwritten rules. You have to play 2 spells, and we found this out. We tested it when we were doing our Veteran Explorer marathon run, and this will work for any format. Alchemy, Pioneer, Historic, Timeless. If you go in with a deck like the one we made for Explorer and play 2 0 mana spells and then concede, you will progress the bar. So it can be as simple as, average game time in our experience is about 20 to 30 seconds. Queue time is about 30 seconds to a minute. So you're looking at about a minute to a minute and a half each game, putting this at like a 450 minute on average in time investment to get here. So don't waste your time. That's bare minimum. That's the bare minimum time you'll have to put in there to get these achievements. Don't waste any more time if you're not interested in playing these. But if you are, then by all means, get it fairly. No one's saying we have to cheat. But if you want to hunt all the achievements and you don't want to spend hours and hours and hours getting your butt kicked over and over and over again in huge, long games in Timeless, or historic, waiting for somebody's combo deck to go off, then, not that they're all like that. There are a number of quick games, but probably not minute and a half range games, So, yes, 2-0 mana cost spells, a quarter shield. We built a deck in our played 400 games in 4 hours, 3 hours, whatever we titled it. It's in the playlist. Check the Achievement Hunters playlist, Achievement Hunters Lodge. You'll see the deck, and I'll link it to the description in the video description link below as well. If you're on YouTube, and you can give us a like and subscribe and comment while you're there. Thank you. And so yeah, that's another rule for these particular quest types or achievement types. We need to know that, because if you just go in there and you start spamming concede and play and concede, you will make zero progress. A few of the examples of games or equipment, a few of the examples of achievements you might want to go after in that method that we discussed a moment ago. The best of 3 direct match would be like no bigger than that. Attack with a creature with 21 or greater power. We found while trying to do this live on the channel that normally if you get a 21 or power greater creature in a match-made game, because again, this won't work against Sparky, the opponent will concede. They will not wait for you to attack and kill them. Okay? So, there is that. It can happen. Extremely unlikely. Another one that I would suggest taking to the best of 3 direct match method would be something like All According to My Calculations, which is a self-mill plan, basically, or self-draw until you are out of cards plan. Yeah, that will also work. Even though it says direct challenge, it is one of these 0 or 1 of 1 achievements. It will work in best of 3 tournament direct match, unless it gets patched, unless it gets fixed. They may or may not fix it at some point. I don't know. There's so many unwritten rules here that we have no idea what was intentional and what was not. So, with that being said, that is going to bring us to the final section of our little how-to guide here, our unwritten rules, our best all-around decks for obtaining multiple achievements in one sitting. All right. And all these decks will be shared in the video description. All right, number 1. This is what I'm calling our Swiss Army knife of a deck for achievement hunting. You've seen us play this on a number of episodes of Achievement Hunters Lodge. And this deck is capable. I'm calling it Brood Heliod. We built it initially for historic, just for laughs. What it turned into after they released achievements, it turned into an achievement hunting machine. This is, the Swiss Army Brood Heliod. In this deck, we have infinite life gain, so the heal up achievement is easily doable. Infinite creature entry of 2 or less, so that's also an achievement. Infinite creature sacrifice, which is also a black achievement. Infinite +1/+1 counters, which is a number of green color achievements. And we have infinite damage. So that is wonderful. The way this works is basically we get the Soul Warden here out on the battlefield, along with, and this can be done in most of these achievements can be done against Sparky. So it's not something you have to go and play another player if you don't want to. most of these achievements that you can do with this deck can be done against Sparky. So Soul Warden, Basking Brood Scale, and either Innkeeper's Talent or Doubling Season will work along with Heliod. That's what you want. So Heliod, Soul Warden, Basking Brood Scale, Innkeeper's Talent fully leveled up, or Doubling Season, and Archangel of Thune also helps. So if you get all of those in play, you've got the full setup. You can do every bit of this combo. And what will happen is that when we play a creature, or put a counter or gain life, any one of those things will set it off, because when we play a creature or a creature enters, it will set off Soul Warden, which triggers Heliod to put a +1/+1 counter on Basking Brood Scale, which will in turn make us a creature, an Eldrazi Spawn, which continues the loop. And if we have double counters, then we'll get double the tokens, which will trigger Heliod twice and trigger Soul Warden twice, enabling us to put an extra +1/+1 counter on Monoskillion. We can sacrifice the tokens, hence the infinite sacrifice, to ping with Monoskillion over and over and over again, removing those +1/+1 counters at instant speed. And we can direct that towards our own creatures if we're playing against Sparky, so that we can continually cycle through if we have a quest or an achievement that requires dealing damage to creatures or killing creatures, like Dies to Doomblade. It can be Sparky's creatures, whatever you. If Archangel of Thune is in play, then also that's like having the Doubling Season or Innkeeper's Talent, and that it will allow us, along with Heliod, to put +1/+1 counters on things when we gain life, thus allowing us to put multiple counters per trigger on these creatures, Monoskillion and Basking Brood Scale. Easy enough, easy enough. And we can just cycle through that as many times as we want to get all those achievements that we have mentioned, as well as probably some others. The next deck I will show you is our Tribal, or Taste of Power, and all according to my calculations deck. When I say Tribal, I mean all the color categories, the color achievements have some type of achievement that say cast 250 of X type creature or X type creature. And this one will get you all of them simultaneously in one sitting. If you start at zero, you can go play against Sparky with this deck and get all 250 in one game if you're willing to sit there long enough and get all the creature types, because we're using Changeling. And the way this works is with Universal Automaton and a Retraction Helix. This could also work with, there's actually a number of ways you can do this to infinitely bounce a creature back and forth. In this particular way, we have like a number of ways to make, Power 9. Yeah, so this particular deck is actually designed to get the Power 9 in play for a Taste of Power, as well as getting that X creature type spells. And we can also do self-mill with this because we have Jace, Wielder of Mystery, so you can get that all according to my calculations. Now, to do that, the Power 9 and the all according to my calculations achievement, you will need to do the best of 3 direct match method against a friend. But the play 250 X-type creatures, you can easily do against Sparky, again, in one sitting. And so all we have to do is have something like Paradox Engine in play. You've also seen us use Valley Floodcaller for this. So what I would do is get one of these mocks in play. In this case, we're using Cryptolith Right, but you could just as easily use Mox Opal if you had Kenner, Bond, or Prodigy in play, or Rona and Valley Floodcaller, anything to allow you to use Retraction Helix, cast it on a creature, and then generate mana. So Cryptolith Right also lets us tap our creatures for mana. Paradox Engine untaps them when we cast a spell. So there's lots of ways to untap your creatures and tap them back for mana every single time you cast Universal Automaton, and that will net you infinite mana, as well as with Oracle of the Alpha, you can bounce it back and forth until you finally scry to the top, the power 9, and cast it. Dowerport Mage is another one that says when you draw your third card, and I'm sorry, Dowerport Mage. Whenever one or more creatures you leave battlefield without your dying, draw a card. So that's card draw there. That's essentially, we could switch that out with Rona if we wanted to, and tap and untap with the Paradox Engine. Like I said, we've done several variations of this particular thing. However, this is the one that allows you to cast the power 9. So I 2 birds, 3 birds, 1 stone, better than a single deck for one purpose. This is for playing all of our different formats. This is the 0 mana deck I was mentioning, where you have to go for all the formats where you have to go in and play 2 spells, where it says play 450 alchemy games or 450 timeless games. So you're going to go in, cast a 0 mana spell. You don't even have to play a land. 2 mana, 0 mana spells, and concede. Alright, all these decks will be listed in our YouTube video descriptions for your easy perusal, and that is going to do it for our hunt. The season is over. We have nothing left. We have nothing left to hunt. And I'm grateful because we've had a great time. We've discovered a lot. We've had a lot of interesting deck builds that have really forced us to think outside the box. When you're building a deck to achieve something and not necessarily just play against and beat another player, it becomes something of a different challenge, a different sort of mindset, and I've really enjoyed it. So I thank you, Arena, for giving us something fresh, for giving us something to try to wrap our brains around. Yeah, I hope this has helped, and please feel free to check out our Achievement Hunters Lodge playlist on Average Zen on YouTube, and as always, love one another, be cool, don't be a jerk, and have fun playing Magic the Gathering.